Hello everyone. In this video, I will be introducing the different sections which are there in the GRE. Okay, so let's start by first talking about why you need to familiarize yourself with the exam. The reason for this is very simple. You will be able to save time in the exam. You won't have to worry about what the section is and how do you attempt that section. So there are three major sections in the GRE. The first is the analytical writing section. This section is composed of two essay questions. You'll have to write those two essays in 30 minutes each or a total of 1 hour. Then there will be two verbal reasoning sections, and each section is 30 minutes. You have a quantitative reasoning section, each of 35 minutes, and then you have one additional section of either verbal reasoning or quantitative reasoning. But this section won't be evaluated, it's just an experimental section. In terms of the order, analytical writing always comes first. So the first hour of your exam will be spent in the analytical writing section. After this section, the analytical writing section, verbal reasoning and quantitative reasoning sections can appear in random order. Okay, so thing to note about the experimental section is that it can appear anytime after the analytical writing section. It won't contain any indication telling you that it's an experimental section and it won't be marked. The research section though always comes at the end of the test. It will be the last section in the test. And it also has an indication which tells you that it is an unscored research section. About the scoring, verbal reasoning and quantitative reasoning both use the same 130 to 170 scale, and it has increments of 1 point or 1 mark. The analytical writing section is different and it uses a 0 to 6 scale in half point increments. So you can score 0 or 0.5, 1 or 1.5, so on. Okay, so now let's talk about the verbal reasoning section. This is a reading heavy section, and it can ask you to verify a number of things. Some of them are, for example, you will have to identify the correct vocabulary words for isolated sentences or paragraphs. You might also have to comprehend the main points, the meanings, or the implications of dense passages. These passages will be graduate level and they won't be very simple. So the verbal reasoning section is composed of three question types: text completion, sentence equivalence, and reading comprehension. Okay, so let's first talk about the text completion question type. So this question type, it asks you to complete the sentences using appropriate vocabulary. And each question will contain 1 to 5 sentences and 1 to 3 blanks in the sentences. A thing to note would be questions with either 2 or 3 blanks will have 3 possible answer choices for each blank. And questions with only 1 blank will have a total of 5 possible choices, out of which obviously only 1 would be correct. So the important thing to note here, the vital thing, would be that there is no credit for partially correct answers. You will have to choose the correct word for every blank in the question to be able to earn the credit or marks for that question. Okay, so now let's talk about the next question type, the sentence equivalence question. So this question type is heavily focused on your vocabulary, on your English vocabulary. You will have to choose two synonymous words that when substituted for each other produce sentences with identical meanings. And each question will contain one sentence with one blank, and it will have 6 possible answer choices. And thing to note here again is that to receive credit or marks for that question, you will have to identify both the correct words, both the correct answer choices. Okay, next, the last type is the reading comprehension type. So like I said before, you will have to read and comprehend graduate level texts or dense passages to be able to score in this section. So you will have to draw conclusions, infer information, identify the assumptions, or distinguish the major points from the passage to be able to score. Or the last thing is that there will be 5 answer choices most of the times. However, sometimes you will have to highlight a particular sentence in the passage or select multiple answer choices. For example, in MCQ with one or more possibly correct options, choices. Okay, so now that we are done with the verbal reasoning section, now let's talk about the quantitative reasoning section. So this section actually centers around some basic math, and basic math here means middle school or high school maths. 4 major topics will be tested in the exam: arithmetic, algebra, geometry, and data analysis. So the in the GRE exam, you will have access to infinite, not infinite, but unlimited scratch paper and access to an on-screen calculator with basic math functions. Also, you will be able to calculate the square roots in this on-screen calculator. This section is composed of 5 major question types: quantitative comparison, MCQ with one correct choice, MCQ with one or more correct choices, numeric entry, and data interpretation. Okay, so now let's talk about the quantitative comparison question type. So this type accounts for more than a third of this section, and it has 7 to 8 questions per section. So in this question you will be simply asked to compare two quantities, quantity A and quantity B, for example. So almost all of the time, most of the time, you will get a description about these quantities and 4 answer choices. Either A is greater, B is greater, the two A and B are equal, or the relationship between A and B can't be determined from the information given. So a thing to note here is that the quantities which you have to compare can take several forms, such as equations, inequalities, integers, or diagrams. You most of the time won't be simply asked to compare between 1 and 2, which is greater or lesser. Okay, so multiple choice questions with only one correct choice. So this is a simple question type. It's a simple MCQ with 5 options and 1 correct option. This makes up about half of the quantitative section. The topics covered in these types of questions range from coordinate systems and shapes to data interpretation and probability. Each question type will be accompanied by an oval. If you see that the options have an oval next to them, you can understand that it is an MCQ question. However, if you are giving the paper delivered GRE, it will be denoted with a circle with a letter. Okay, so MCQs, multiple choice questions with one or more correct answers. So this has one question and one or more possibly correct options. And each section contains 2 MCQs with multiple answers. So the way you can differentiate between multiple correct and single correct is that the single correct questions have single answer correct questions have an oval next to the options, while the multiple correct options have square boxes next to them. And the number of answer choices, they vary for MCQs with multiple correct. So for example, some will have 5 options and some fewer than 5, and obviously some greater than 5. So a thing to note here would be that these questions might ask you to select only a certain number of options. So you have to pay attention to the question, you have to read it completely and be able to understand what the question asks of you. Okay, next we have the numeric entry type. In this question type, you will have to come up with your answer and type it in the blank given. There are only 2 questions in the entire section. So a variant of this type is that you might have to enter a fraction. So when you have to enter a fraction, the question will have 2 blanks, a numerator blank and a denominator blank. Okay, the last question type for quantitative section is the data interpretation question type. So these are questions referring to a certain set of data which you will be given in the exam. Don't worry, you don't have to prepare beforehand. So there might also be a bar graph or a table given. So you will be presented with the data, and then you will have 3 questions in a row concerning the data. And the questions in this section can in turn be MCQs, single correct or multiple correct, or numeric entry. Okay, so the last section, the analytical writing section. So this section tests you on your ability to develop a clear and cogent essay. Second and clear essay, you can say, which has supporting evidence, a logical flow, and it is technically accurate. So for example, it has to have correct grammar, spelling, punctuation, capitalization, etc. So like I said before, this section asks you to write 2 separate essays. One essay will be to analyze an issue, and the other essay would be to analyze an argument. You will be given the issue and argument in the exam. So let's talk about the analyze an issue essay. So an issue will be given in the exam, and you'll have to choose a side of that issue, and you'll have to defend your stance with evidence and clear reasoning. So note that your opinion does not need to be 100% agree or 100% disagree with the issue. You are free to partially agree and partially disagree with the issue, but you'll have to explain clearly why you are agreeing or why you are disagreeing. And your grade, it won't be based on what side of the issue you are supporting, but how you are supporting it, how clearly you are supporting it. And since it's an essay, it has to have an introduction, a thesis, supporting paragraphs, and a conclusion. So next, analyze an issue essay, the second essay you'll have to write. So in this again, you will be given an argument, and you will be asked to analyze that argument. But a thing to be careful about is that you don't have to write your own opinion. You have to analyze the logic of the author's argument, which will be given in the exam. So note, to effectively evaluate the argument, you have to consider the argument in its entirety. You have to consider the evidence given by the author, as well as whether the author is making any uncomfortable assumptions or any unrealistic assumptions. So like before, since this is an essay, it has to contain an introduction, a thesis, evidence, supporting paragraphs, and a conclusion. Okay, so I hope you were able to get something out of this video, and you are now ready for the preparation plans. So I'll see you there. Thank you. Bye.